And now, coming to you live from Huntsville Attic Studios, it's Pop Culture Philosophers. And here are your hosts, Rockin, Robbie, Billups, and John Hammertime Holshoe.
Hey everybody, it's the Pop Culture Philosophers. As always, coming live from the Huntsville Attic in beautiful Huntsville, Alabama. Really excited for the show tonight. Today we're talking about Quentin Tarantino, the works, the director, the actor. I'm very excited. As always, I'm John Hammertime Holshoe, and joining me with me is Rockin' Robbie Billups.
Hey John, how you doing?
I am fantastic. One of my favorite directors. I'm excited about tonight's subject.
Yeah.
Most of the shows we do, I don't give a shit about. This one, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I really like Quentin Tarantino. When I was first discovering a love of film as an art form, Tarantino was right there, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, that was their first introduction to, I don't know, instead of just the typical Hollywood thing, I think for a lot of people, Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs changed their perception of film.
Yeah, really good stuff. So I'm super excited to talk about Quentin Tarantino tonight. As usual, we have Justin Goldsmith with us.
Hey, how's it going? I love Totino's.
Totino.
Quentin Tarantino pizza rolls. That's
nice.
That's our sponsor tonight.
Yes. Also returning, we have Mike Matthews.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. I'm glad I made this one.
Yeah, thank you for filling in. Last minute replacement, but Mike is always first in our hearts.
Yeah, the person we had originally
14
that was supposed to be on the show, eaten by a shark. By a shark.
On a Gravitron.
Yeah, on a Gravitron. On a Gravitron.
Tragic.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the life of Mr. Tarantino, John.
He was born in Nova Scotia. No, that's not true.
No, it's not.
So Quentin Tarantino, he's an American actor, a writer, and a director. So he's most famous for his writing and directing, but he's done some acting, including making small appearances in his own films. He was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was actually raised in Los Angeles. His parents got divorced. His mom moved to Los Angeles. She remarried when he was 14, and his stepfather was a big film buff and always took him to the movie theater. So this is where he grew his love for film. And in fact, he purchased the historic New Beverly Cinema in 2007. This was an old cinema that's known for its double features, so he bought it. He still has it do double features, and sometimes it runs his stuff, like Kill Bill 1 and 2, for example, or the Grindhouse movies. But it continues to double features, and he wants it to stay 35 millimeter, and he said that's the way it's going to be because it's his theater until he's dead. You know, everybody else has gone to this digital format because he believes, and that's film is part of real cinema.
Yes.
So anyway,
he's really nervous about digital.
Yeah, exactly. So he bought this theater, big passion for theater, but his first, I should say, feature film was Reservoir Dogs. This was 92, and it premiered at Sundance to critical acclaim. His second feature film was Pulp Fiction, premiered at, is it Cannes? I think it is Cannes.
That's the American way to say it. It's Cannes. But
yeah, because it's run by James Caan.
James Caan!
And it won. It won the coveted. Are you done? It won the coveted. Is it Palme d'Or award?
Yeah.
So it won that award, and so far he's done 8 feature films, or at least he credits himself as 8. He's been involved in other films. He's known for his style, his violence, and his non-linear storytelling.
And a cinema word actually came from Tarantino. It's Tarantino-esque.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Some things like uber violent and non-linear, if it's in that style of Tarantino, which is funny because Tarantino is a patchwork of styles.
Yeah, he's definitely drawn.
Is he not?
Yeah, he's definitely, you can tell in his different films that he's drawn from different directors in different films in the past.
That's one of the reasons why I love Tarantino. I love Tarantino because he's original. Even though it's a patchwork, it's originality, great dialogue, outrageous characters, and I never don't have fun watching a Tarantino flick. Absolutely. So, Justin, I want to know, why do you love Tarantino?
Because of how much he respects and appreciates film on the whole. The reason he loves actual film reels, the physical touch and the way they look on the screen as opposed to digital. Try working at a fucking theater and that shit gets old real quick. Well, but he likes it.
He loves it so much he actually puts movies together like that at his house for his friends for their movie nights.
And
he's a masochist then.
You were a part of that portion of our history, John. You used to do that, didn't you?
Yeah, I was even in their transition to digital. I do miss the grain, like the real film and the history of it, but hitting a play button is so much easier on a fucking digital projector.
Like, I really, really would love to see, because when they filmed Hateful Eight, they did it, it was that
70 millimeter Panavision.
Yeah. They got some old stuff and off a shelf at
Costco. Costco sells 70 millimeter Panavision equipment.
Was it at Kodak? I can't remember where, but they got it off the shelf or whatever. Kodak, yeah. And restored them and used them and shot the whole thing in 70 mil. And I think that's probably one of the golden apples of cinema.
Okay,
what golden apples?
Yeah, I couldn't think.
That's a great comic
golden
book
pizza
shop.
roll.
So his love of film as an art form.
Yeah,
like his love of film itself.
Yeah,
even like absolutely. The craft, the nurture, and everything that he puts into
everything
it.
that he does is just he puts everything into it.
Absolutely. What about you, Mike?
Well, first off, I was going to say, when talking about old cinema, I really do miss the cigarette burns that you'd see.
Oh, yeah.
When you'd have to change I miss those.
Oh, yeah. A plot point in Inglourious Bastards.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
I love Tarantino. I guess it's the cinematography work. It's the breakup of everything, the non-linear. But you got to be, it's like, how can you, it's A+, you can figure it out. You're not stupid. If you can't figure it out, then I'm sorry. But yeah, it's, cinematography I think is great. Character development, characters. Some of the stories, I like revenge stuff. So
yeah, a lot of it based on revenge. Absolutely. Yeah, good subject matter, good craft, originality, great dialogue. He's one of the best writers of dialogue in Hollywood. If you want to consider him part of Hollywood, which he is, for sure. John, why do you love Tarantino?
I would say maybe it's his walk. He's got a sexy walk. No,
I agree.
he just what they really with it. They said he's original. I mean, he definitely draws from other filmmakers or inspired, but I think he's a filmmaker's filmmaker. Like, I don't think he's trying to cop from them. I think he's just drew inspiration. He's not trying to clone them.
He's perfected the homage.
Yeah, and he does a great job. I think very original characters, some great storylines, very original. I've never watched a Tarantino film and felt like, well, that was a rip-off of X film. You know what I'm saying? Not X film, not like an X-Men film.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it feels like original content. I really do. You're right. The dialogue. Some of the dialogue.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Love these characters. So, I think he's a great director. Originally, I thought, oh, he's a great director. And then as he became more famous, people are like, oh, he's too famous now. He's a sellout, blah, blah. I'm like, no, he loves his craft. And he's changed his style, too. But he's still got that Tarantino-ish.
Tarantino-esque to me means like a Frankensteining of film. Like, you can, if you look at a list of Tarantino's favorite films, you're like, well, I'm not surprised. It's like Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Taxi Driver. It's like films that you're like, absolutely. And he watches a lot of foreign films. He watches a lot of cinema from around the world. He's got influences all over the place, and he just crafts this amazing vision, and I just love it.
So I all love him, and we were talking about his original dialogue and some of these great characters he's brought to the screen. So who are your favorite characters, I guess? Cut to the chase. without making a segue. Who's your favorite characters? There's some characters you want to talk about. Let's start with Goldsmith. There's some characters that stand out to you in his films, some memorable characters.
I mean, of course, you got pretty much all of Sam Jackson's characters.
Yeah, right.
So, and Aldo Raine from Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's character.
Fantastic. And the Jew Hunter, Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to just pin down because they're all of Quentin Tarantino's characters are so great.
Even the small ones, man.
Yeah, even the little tiny ones.
Chris Tucker and Jackie Brown. Well, you haven't seen Jackie
Yeah, that's
Brown.
the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah. Actually, you have to leave the show now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
He only has 9 films. You had plenty of time.
Yeah, good
Come
time.
on.
See you.
So Samuel L. Jackson, Brad Pitt's character. Oh, Brad Pitt's amazing in Inglourious Bastards.
He's Aldo Raines or what was Sam Jackson in Hateful Eight? Major.
I don't remember his name. I just watched that film.
Yeah.
One
of the two of those are probably my favorite. I
He's
mean, aside from Vincent.
Major
and,
Marquise Warren.
Yeah, Marquis. And then the hitman in Pulp Fiction.
Jules,
yeah.
Robbie.
Yes. Characters. Jules right here on my
Some of your
list.
favorite characters.
Jules Winnfield from Pulp Fiction. It's an easy one, but it's an obvious one, right?
Yeah, that's kind of why I glossed over it.
Yeah, like it's just, I mean, he's great. And another one I would pick, there's so many, like you said. like Vincent Vega and Mr. Blonde. Mr. Pink is a great character in these movies.
That one was Buscemi, right?
Yeah, that's Buscemi.
That's correct.
He's the one that may have got away. He didn't get it. We hear the cops, so you assume.
Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction, the Wolf.
Yeah.
You know, Django is a great character. But the Bride, Uma Thurman's bride, the Bride, Beatrix, she's awesome. Great character. Like, probably, I don't know, there's, in the early movies, like, the characters, like, they're funny, they're cool, but they don't really, like, learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of, like, meat to their actual stories, almost, if that makes sense. Like Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction, what does John Travolta learn in that movie? He learns nothing.
He learns to die.
Royale with cheese.
Man, I do like the theme there of, like, Jules sees this incident as a sign, and we got to get out of this life, and then he winds up dying. It's cool. It's a cool little parable, little fable. But, like, Kill Bill with the Bride especially, like, started this whole thing where the characters are, like, so deep and complex. And I think the Bride started that, and it led into things like Django, for instance, and even into Hateful Eight for sure. Like, I just love that. And I think the Bride, Jules, Mr. Pink, those are great characters.
Yeah, it seemed like the first group of characters, like in the first handful of movies, were more, you didn't have to figure out their backstory. They kind of, like, said it.
Yeah, they were just cool.
Yeah.
Well, also, you look at something like Kill Bill, and you can spend more time with Uma Thurman versus look at Reservoir Dogs. You don't spend a lot of time with each of his characters. The only one you really get a backstory is Mr. Orange. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He's a cop.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the interesting things he does. Like, even with all those characters, you didn't really know their names most of the movie, and you kind of trying to figure out exactly what was going on and who was who. And
It's a great experience to watch that movie for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it really is.
Mikey, who are some characters, in your opinion, that stand out, or some of your favorites from the Quentin Tarantino universe?
Christopher Waltz, any of the characters that he does.
Yeah.
I love them. They're amazing. Great actor. Michael Madsen, any of the characters that he does.
He did Bud.
Is great.
Mr. Blonde.
Buck.
Mr. Pink.
Was it
Was
Bud?
he
was
Buck?
Bud. Bud in... No, he wasn't Buck. Buck
No,
and Kill.
you're right, yeah.
He was Bud.
It's been a while since I saw
The
those.
only male member of the Divas. Of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. Is that what they were called?
Yeah. John Ruth, the Kurt Russell character from Hateful Eight.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of fun.
So mad.
The Walter Coggins. The
I was
sheriff.
so pleased to see him in a Tarantino flick.
Brad Pitt did a great job. A lot of those guys. The Bear Jew, I can't remember his name.
Eli Roth.
Eli Roth, yeah.
Director Eli Roth.
Yeah, did Hostel and Cabin Fever.
There's so many characters that you love them for each different reason. And
There's just so many. It's hard to name. It's hard to peg it down, man. It really is.
like originally, before I wasn't going to be on this. When you asked who's
You don't have to keep mentioning that. Like, we already feel bad. We appreciate you being here, Mike.
Well, we had the conversation earlier, and I was like, can I just pick any movie that Sam Jackson kills people in because that's the best character? So
it works. What about you, John?
I would say we mostly talked about, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink, Mr. White, Jules, which talked about Django.
Yeah,
I love his character, man. And I just forgot. I rewatched it recently. He becomes an awfully good shot pretty fucking quick. But he's got some great lines
it's all
too.
skill. It's
I really like his. I like Jamie Foxx. I mean, how can you not like Jamie Foxx? But he does such a great job. And then let's see, Butch Coolidge is the boxer guy. The what's his name? Bruce Willis's character. And then, like you said earlier, Christoph Waltz. You can't help but like he's a bounty hunter. This goes back to Django Unchained, but his character Dr. King. He's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not a bad. Yeah, he's a bounty hunter, but he's only bringing in people that need to. He frees Django, and he sees that other guy that they're going to stick the dogs on, or whatever. He wants to free him. He's got a good heart. He's actually a good person. So I really love Christopher Waltz's character on that.
All right, well, some great characters, and it's hard to peg them down, but you guys have picked some good ones. Absolutely. The actors behind these characters are just as important. One of the things that Justin said was any character played by Samuel L. Jackson. I think Samuel L. Jackson is probably one of the best actors, period, in any Tarantino thing. He's in so many of his movies. Just in so many different roles and great roles, always just chewing screen time. There are some amazing actors, male and female, in the Tarantino-verse. Who are your favorites, Justin?
Well, you got Sam Jackson, but Christoph Waltz, man.
Absolutely.
Dude,
He's won Oscars for
yeah.
both of the movies he was in with Tarantino. He's so precise, the interesting accent he has when he talks, and he puts the little pauses and
Yeah. And as the villainous Hans in Inglourious Bastards, but then as the dentist bounty hunter in Django is like the same inflection, but just still like you got one that's very warm and friendly and one that's very menacing and cold.
Yeah, and they're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Except the beard, I guess, just kind of makes him a little more.
He looks
cuddly,
more
I
jolly
guess.
with more hair.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think? What are some of the better actors, the standout actors in Tarantino films?
Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love Tim Roth.
He's in a lot of them, too. He's in Pulp Fiction. He's in
a lot of great films in general.
Hateful Eight. Absolutely. He was in Four Rooms, obviously.
He's also, yeah, I mean, it's...
Reservoir Dogs, obviously. Like the main character.
Tim Roth jumps out. Christopher Waltz and Sam Jackson are kind of like, okay, this is a given. Aldo Raines was a great character. Brad Pitt did a great job, but it's a one-off character. Just with Leonardo DiCaprio and Django.
Candy.
Yeah.
He did a great job,
Oh my
but it's
God,
just kind of
yeah.
like, it's an amazing performance, but it's the one film.
Yeah.
Tim Roth and Michael Madsen are like 3 and 4 to me. So
Hugo Stiglitz was the
and Harvey Keitel.
guy. Sorry.
Cartel.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel,
Yeah.
As the Wolf, another great character
And Mr. White.
in Pulp Fiction, and Mr. White. Great stuff. What about you, John? Speaking of Mr. White, what are some of your
I was
favorite
obviously
actors?
going to say...
You're getting real racial tonight, Robbie.
I was obviously going to say Harvey
It's a Tarantino
Keitel.
podcast.
Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, we always talked about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Samuel L. Jackson. I think we mentioned some of these great actors, and it's nice to see that these great actors they're great in their own right, but nice to see them make reoccurrence. Oh, they're in this they're in Pulp Fiction, and now they're in so and so. It's nice to see he's friends with them and that they reappear in his movies, even in small roles.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot about mentioning one of the greatest actors of all time in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, wait.
I was going to break Pulp Fiction. Talking about the watch up his ass or whatever.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. He's got such a bit part, but he's such a great
It's
actor.
such an odd scene.
It is such an odd scene, and he's only in the movie for a few seconds. And then I was also going to say, you're right, the greatest actor of all time. He's
Michael
only
Keaton.
in Jackie Brown, Michael Keaton. He's only got the one.
I really thought you were going to say Mike Myers from Inglourious Basterds.
Dude, he's
That's-
a great little role in that movie.
I was about
man.
to say that because I was looking at the pictures.
The thing that's super funny about him in that movie is that it always looks like he's just about to just crack the fuck up. It looks like he thinks he's on SNL. And I'm like, I don't know, but he's like doing a really serious, like British, like,
Yeah.
Commander type
He's
role.
a general.
Yeah, he's like, tell me, old chap.
And he's
I
so
love it.
good. It's such
Yeah,
an
he's really
underappreciated
good.
role.
And that's like Churchill. It's supposed to be Churchill over there just chilling, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
who the old guy's supposed to be? That's what I thought.
I want to jump in real quick and add Lucy Liu to her performances
Oh,
already.
yeah.
We kind of went male heavy right there outside the bride. And,
Well, I haven't
True.
finished. I haven't. I still got a couple more to
Oh,
say.
I
But yeah,
didn't-
Lucy Liu.
I didn't
Lucy
get her.
Liu wasn't one of them. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's great. I didn't get a rundown, so I really don't know.
No, okay. No. I would also say Uma Thurman from
Yeah.
Kill Bill, like an amazing performance in that movie. Also, I think Robert Forster and Pam Grier and Jackie Brown are adorable. They're amazing. Their little blossoming romance is adorable, and I just root for them in that movie so much. And both of those actors did a really good job in that movie, for sure.
So we're going to be taking a little break here. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some of the music of his films. Tarantino's really got an eye or an ear, if you will, for music. So we come back, we'll be talking about Tarantino music on Pop Culture Philosophers, Quentin Tarantino.
Hey everybody, Rockin' Robbie here. I want to talk to you real quick about our YouTube channel. That's right, you got to get on YouTube and check out Pop Culture Philosophers and give us a good subscribe. That's right, we got tons of content there for you. Weekly comic book reviews and other comic book news and things like that. Movie reviews and movie discussions and updates and stuff like that. Toy reviews and toy unboxings, both new toys and retro toys. Lots of fun, exciting stuff, including the exclusive to YouTube podcast, Rockin' with Rockin' Robbie. Tons of stuff going on at the Pop Culture Philosophers YouTube channel, including our 500 subscribers celebration going on right now. We got a contest we are announcing. Check it out. You might be able to win a Blu-ray player and Rogue One, a Star Wars story on Blu-ray. So be sure to check that out on YouTube, Pop Culture Philosophers.
And we're back. This is Pop Culture Philosophers. We were talking about Quentin Tarantino, all things Quentin Tarantino. Now we're going to talk about music. He really has an eye for details. So he the cars that are in his film, some of the backdrops in his film. I mean, he pays attention to little things that people may overlook, some directors. He does not. And including the music. He was talking about, I was reading an interview with him, and he talks about how he'll hear this great song, or he's writing something and the song comes first before he's fleshed out the characters, how integrated the music is and how important it is to him. So let's talk about some of the music that you guys enjoyed or some of the ones that stand out to you. I'm going to start with Justin Goldsmith.
The music is actually probably, I think, one of the most important parts of his films, kind of like you were saying, because his favorite movie is, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And if you listen to the music from most of his movies, you can kind of feel that same, like the main tune, not necessarily the Good, Bad, and the Ugly theme, but the Few Dollars More and Fistful of Dollars theme.
Yeah.
All that spaghetti western stuff is really clear that that's what he was drawing on for most of his music.
He even had Ennio Morricone score some of his movies, including Hateful Eight.
Yeah. And he won, finally won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Ennio Morricone. And also he was supposed to do Inglourious Bastards, but couldn't. He was working on something else, so he only had time to do some. So there's like 7 or 8 songs that he did in the Inglourious Bastards soundtrack, and they sound fantastic.
I think that was about the same time he was doing that project with Jack White.
Yeah, I agree. End of segment. Let's move on. No, Robbie, is there particular songs or something you want to talk about that stands out, soundtracks?
Well, as I think Pulp Fiction obviously is one of the best soundtracks that has ever been done. And I love the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. I love how it puts the actual soundtrack, if you have it, actually has dialogue bits from the film. I love that. Can you hear Jungle Boogie without thinking of Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, but I love that, and I love Urge Overkill's cover of the Neil Diamond classic in that movie, "Girl, You'll Be a Woman."
Yes,
that's
love
an
that
amazing song.
Love their cover. Love that part in that movie, and the song is called Comanche, but it's the dun 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 dun. Pulp Fiction is
that
just
the
amazing.
opening song?
No, that's the one where Butch has the sword. And he's
yes,
going to go
yes.
mess up the guys.
And then Dick Dale,
Mr. Lou.
Mr. Lou, like you
The
can't
opening the film.
Yeah, that's the opening.
You can't even that movie took songs that were already popular and famous and attached them forevermore to that movie. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. But don't sleep on Kill Bill. Kill Bill's got great music, especially Volume 1. You got the Woohoo song by the 5, 6, 7, 8s, You got amazing stuff, including Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down by Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, come on.
Come
on.
That was great when we were going through that earlier today.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. There's the Battle Without Honor or whatever it's called. The
dun dun
dun. Yeah, when she's on the motorcycle and she's going to fight him. So, but there's one that Robbie left off, and we forgot to talk about it today. I don't know if you're going to bring it up or not, but Reservoir Dogs soundtrack. Look it up. Holy crap. Blue Swede, Hooked on a Feeling. It got it.
Yeah.
It like people.
Guardians. Everybody thinks Guardians.
Yes, Guardians, but no, it's Steelers Wheel was stuck in the middle. That's great.
Just that scene too with Michael Madsen where he's torturing that cop.
Yeah.
And then
can you hear me?
Bedlam does their version of Magic Carpet Ride, which is great.
It's a great version.
The opening song, Little Green Bag, where they're all walking out.
Yeah, didn't. Yeah,
that's an amazing song. But the most important one is the ending song. You put the lime in the coconut.
Oh yeah,
coconut is the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's probably...
Harry Nelson is a genius.
Yeah, that's probably the best soundtrack, I would say, was... There's all these great soundtracks, but Reservoir Dogs, for me, hits it out of the park. And you've already mentioned Reservoir Dogs. We talked about some of those songs. We talked about Kill Bill. But no one mentioned the whistle, that crazy whistle song.
Twisted Nerve.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I was going to try to whistle it, too, but I can't whistle.
Oh, yeah, from Kill Bill.
Yeah, that... I can't.
Classic.
What's cool is in Kill Bill Volume 1 is when they do RZA from Wu-Tang jumps in and does a majority of the instrumentals and kind of the mixing and the DJing.
Yeah, both of those films have great.
Django's
soundtrack.
got great music too.
Django has great music.
Yeah.
A lot of original
Hateful
music.
Eight has great music, and
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards. You were talking about the song that opens it up.
Yeah, that's actually not Ennio, not one of his, but it's really good.
Yeah, but it's so good, and it sounds like one of his.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot like the theme song from A Few Dollars More.
Yeah.
So we talked about some of the characters, and some great characters, man. Some very unique characters. There's also some great villains, some people that, unfortunately, and I blame Tarantino for this, some great actors who play such shitty people
Yes.
that you despise. Like, this guy's a piece of shit.
Well, like in the movie Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Like, who's the villain? I think they all are.
Yeah, so you can't help but dislike these people because he does such a good job as making them villains.
Or you can't help but just like these people because they're such good villains.
Yeah, like what's his name that played the Confederate soldier, the general's son?
Oh, Walter Coggins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his character? Captain something?
I don't remember. He was the guy who's supposed to be the sheriff.
Yeah, and it's like he's racist as shit, but by the end of the movie, you're like, I like that guy.
And by the end of the movie,
But-
him and Samuel L. Jackson are dying in each other's arms,
Yeah,
basically.
spoilers.
Yeah.
So hopefully the people have seen these films before. But yeah, there's some great villains. Who are some of your favorite villains on the Quentin Tarantino?
I mean, the Jew Hunter is like all-time great villains. Won
The
an Oscar
Nazis,
for it.
the Nazis are always great bad guys. I mean, they
Yeah.
learned that from the Indiana Jones movies.
Hans Landa.
Yeah, Hans Landa. Yeah, the way he enunciates and just the way he speaks, it just is so.
And the way he drinks that milk.
Man, yeah, that scene with the a croissant. What was it?
The strudel.
Strudel.
Strudel?
That's such a
Strudel.
weird
Strudel.
vibe in that scene because like you can hear him cutting into it and it sounds so appetizing.
And he's like, oh, wait for the cream.
Yeah, and he's speaking in French the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a great villain.
And
It's
Calvin,
weird that was a Pillsbury advertisement.
and Calvin Candy.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dude, what a shitty person, too.
DiCaprio
Yeah.
just
Killed it.
that movie is so good, and then he shows up and you're like, he is trying to steal this movie away from Waltz and fucking Jamie Foxx.
He pretty much
much
did.
does.
The scene when he gets all nuts at the dinner table and like
Breaks the
smashes the glass and just bleeds and wipes it
That-
all over.
that was real.
Yeah, it was real.
That was real, yeah.
They just rolled with it. And something I've been wondering about that since I heard about it was, did they probably cut between the time when he broke it and said, let's keep going, and when he wiped it on her face? Because I kind of imagine him just kind of doing it and rolling with it so hard, and he just wipes it all over this other actress's face, and she's just like horrified.
Leonardo could get away. He's the only one who can get away with that.
Yeah.
Maybe him and JT. Just bleed on people. Who were some of your favorite villains there, Robbie?
Oh, and Hitler.
Oh, yeah. Hitler's a good one. Just casually
Christoph
throwing out
Waltz
there.
stole the fucking
Yeah, he
villain
stole
show
it from
Hitler.
Hitler. Yeah. Hans
Yeah.
is the best. in
Not
my
Hans.
opinion.
Not Hans Gruber.
Not Hans Gruber. But no, Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards is probably the best. And like that opening scene on the dairy farm is like one of the best things that Tarantino's ever done.
Yeah.
Period.
Agreed.
Like I love that so much, and he's so good. And that was the first time I ever saw Christoph Waltz, and the way he delivers every line, like you said, and the way he does it in multiple languages,
Yeah.
and it's so convincing. And a lot of people that I know don't like watching subtitles love that movie and get so engrossed by his performance, and it's amazing. And he won an Oscar for every performance he's done in a Tarantino movie, which is twice, but still, whatever.
Looking for number 3.
But also Bill. Bill's a great villain, man.
Oh, yeah, David Carradine?
David Carradine's
Yes.
Bill is amazing. And like, think about that. Tarantino got a reputation for taking actors that were basically done for and forgotten. Robert Forster, Pam Grier, John Travolta at the time. And then like to take someone like that and he just allowed him to just do like so much more in that one movie, because he's basically mostly just in Kill Bill Volume 2.
Correct, yes.
But like he brings such heart. Like he's built up in such a way in Kill Bill Part 1. And then when he shows up in Part 2, he adds a whole new dimension to this character. And it's probably one of the most fleshed out villains, period.
It's like Darth
fiction.
Vader.
No, he's better than Darth Vader.
That's right, you heard it here. Better than Darth Vader. The Star Wars fans listening are pissed off.
Yeah, they just unsubscribe.
So, favorite villains, Mikey?
I didn't ask before, but like, what's the language? Can we cuss? Can we not cuss?
You say whatever the fuck you want.
All right, cool. Because the scene that I want to.
You can't say whatever.
Wait.
I'm not gonna use anything racial like you guys have been saying all night. I mean, jeez. No, I'm talking about Orin from Kill
Lucy
Bill.
Liu, yeah.
Lucy Liu's character. When she walks into the boardroom and she cuts the guy's head off.
She jumps up on the table
Yeah,
to do it.
and she's like, if anybody's got anything to say, now's the fucking time. And she's yelling at her, and she's like, she's nothing to mess with, man.
Did you know the Kill Bill movies have like the least amount of fucks out of a Tarantino film?
No fuck.
Like almost all of them have the use over 100 times, but Kill Bill's got it like it's like 17 or something like that. Like seriously.
Wow.
Isn't that
He
crazy?
made it for the kids, I heard.
And the
That was his crossover film.
Disney presents Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2.
I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm going to go with Mr. Blonde just for the mere fact of what Robbie said earlier of like, hello. He picks the ear up and he's like, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Torturing the cop, torturing
He is just
Orange.
so evil. This is
You
a dude
know,
that just got out of prison.
Yeah.
And he also thinks
He's the reason why the whole thing goes sour too.
Yeah, Vic, because he go, it's like, what's the problem? He just went Orange and bam, bam, bam,
Starts
just starts
shooting
shooting everybody.
What was the song that was playing during that torture scene?
Stuck in the middle with you. How appropriate.
Yeah.
It's
So, that's a great
He
scene.
does little. He does
Even
the
when I hear that
dance.
song on the radio, I think of somebody
Yeah,
being
that's
mutilated.
the thing. It's just, there's a cop being tortured, and then
You've covered most of them. I talked about Candy, Bill. There's some great ones. I mean, he's good at picking great actors, and they really nail the roles. The only two that I probably want to bring up that we haven't talked about is Daisy. Is it Dermagog? She's part of she runs the bandit team. She's the one they're carrying back in Hateful Eight. You can't help but hate her.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. You just
That's
despise her.
Amazing.
Yeah, and she's so I'm like, I would have shot her along. I know he wanted to take her to the hangman or whatever. I would have shot her so I think he was trying to shoot her when he started throwing up the blood.
Oh my god, that was so violent.
I love
Just
that
out
scene.
of nowhere.
And then the poor fucking driver too, man. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I liked him.
Everybody liked him.
The way I know it's because of the scene when he comes back out after being in the cold. He's
my
like, I ain't
God.
never going out in that cold anymore.
What was his
He
name?
sounds
B.O. or something like
OB.
that?
OB. Does not he not like thinking about his voice now? He sounds like the dude in Django who's all like, "Don't you ever ask me and mine for anything again. My wife was up for hours making them."
Yeah, he was so mad because the eye holes. I'm done with you guys.
That leads us to the next segment, John. Do you have any more villains to talk about?
Oh, I was also going to mention, leads us to the next segment. Oh, that leads to the next segment? Want me just to quit? Daryl Hannah's character in Kill Bill.
L.
Yeah. A.K.A. California Mountain Snake.
Yes.
But just when she talks about killing their mentor or whatever, and then she's got missing the one eye. She's like, "He plucked my eye," whatever. And then of course, she plucks her other fucking eye out,
I
leaves
love
her with
that
those
scene.
fucking snakes.
Love it.
But I like her as a bad guy. Kill Bill has some great, awesome, memorable henchmen because a lot of these films have great bad guys, but the henchmen have much smaller roles. Kill Bill, awesome henchmen.
We're not getting out of this segment without talking about the stuntman either. From
Kurt
Death
Russell's
Proof, yeah.
character.
Stuntman.
Really badass villain.
Bob Death Proof. I don't remember his name.
Stuntman
He's
Mike.
just the stunt,
What about
yeah.
Bob Death Proof?
Bob Death Proof Totino?
All right, we talked about it, but you were talking about some great moments, and Tarantino movies have great moments, and we are running maybe a little bit long in this segment, but we're talking about Tarantino. It's PCP. Who cares, right? What are some of your favorite moments? I got a whole list here. Let me go by real quick here. I don't want any repeaters. The opening scene in Inglourious Basterds. We mentioned that.
Yeah.
I mentioned that briefly. That's such an amazing scene. Love that one. The KKK scene in Django Unchained.
Argument, yeah.
The argument about the eye holes. I can't see shit. Like, I just love that.
Well, let's just all take them off. I didn't say that.
We've already said so many of these in here. Stuck in the Middle with You, that whole scene that Mike mentioned. That's a
Yeah,
great one.
very
The
memorable.
House of Blue Leaves battle at the end of Kill Bill Volume 1. I mean, come on, right? Like, that's one of the greatest fight scenes out there. One of my favorite scenes, though, like favorite scenes or moments in a Tarantino film is the opening of Reservoir Dogs. It's the breakfast scene.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
that's a great
love
one.
the breakfast scene. From the get-go, I love this. And then you realize they're all assholes and they all die and they all deserve to. But, I Don't Tip, Madonna, Toby Wong.
Toby
We made
Wong,
a drinking game on that.
Toby
You can get messed up in like 10 minutes. Every time they say Toby, Tip, or I think it's Madonna. I don't know, something like that. It's crazy. But that's why. What are some of your favorite moments, Justin?
All the stuff you said.
Sorry.
The shootout in Django at the end.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers.
Where they burn
Dude,
Candyland.
everybody. That is such a wild scene, and the shotgun blast blows. Who is it? Is it Candy that gets blown back like 15 feet?
Yeah,
Yes.
by Waltz.
Yeah.
When he like, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Say what again? That's a fantastic
What?
scene. Say what again?
What? I
Pulp
thought
Fiction.
You're gonna bring
Fiction.
up
Big Kahuna Burger.
what you used to say at fucking work all the time. White cake.
Oh yeah, white cake in the parlor.
White cake.
What?
White cake is
White.
served.
White cake.
Oh yeah, but the scene in Pulp Fiction, and absolutely the whole like scene in the car too, where you're like, you gotta have an opinion. Like, I just shot Marcus. What do you mean you just shot him?
I just shot Marvin in the
seen
face.
Marvin, I just shot Marvin. Yes, Marvin.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. It's
Oh
Quentin
my
Tarantino's house.
Do you know why I buy the coffee? Because Bonnie buys shit coffee.
Good
I want my coffee to taste good.
That's great moments. What about you, Mike? What are some of your favorite scenes or moments?
Bring out the bear Jew.
Oh yeah,
Bear Jew.
Eli Roth's first appearance. I thought that was great.
it's so intimidating at first, and they make him look so big, and then he comes out and he's just a total Bostonian. It's like, yeah, man, come on,
Get out of the fucking park!
The other one from Inglourious Bastards is the basement scene.
Oh yes,
Yeah, with where he messes up with the three. And
That's
the
one of
whole
his best,
drinking
too.
game.
that's another one. Yeah, like that and the opening and that scene. That scene
Yeah.
is so amazing.
I love Butch's redemption. Just the whole. It's like he could leave Marcellus Wallace there to die, and but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he's going through there, and he's like, he grabs a hammer, and then he's just like, oh no, there's a bat.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a crowbar.
there's a
and then he
chainsaw.
looks up, and then he's like, the chainsaw. Then he's like, looks
fucking
up, there's the
chainsaw.
sword.
Yes.
And Comanche's playing that scene.
Dun
Is
dun
just,
dun 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 dun.
the opening for the diner, with Mr. Lou starts playing
With Honey Bunny?
Yeah,
Love you, Honey Bunny.
pumpkin. And the one I told you earlier today, I don't know why, but just the very opening after the diner scene and Steve Buscemi running.
Yeah.
And
He's hauling ass after he's got the diamonds or
And
whatever.
the
in
three
this
cops
case.
are running, and then he just pulls the woman out of the car and just turns around and just like, oh, so amazing.
What about you, John?
I would say there's a lot. You guys covered a lot, but there's so many.
I know.
I don't think we have enough time to go over all of them without recreating all these movies. There's some great ones.
Can we do that?
I'm going to say in Django Unchained, when he first joins Christopher Waltz's party, and remember, they're initially just looking for the three before he decides to stay on. And when he first runs into those three, and he sees them they're about to whip that girl, and he walks up behind him, and the guy turns around, recognizes him, and then it's that look on his face, and then he shoots him. It's just a one shot.
And doesn't Django at some point in that scene doesn't he say like that badass line? I like the way you die.
Yes,
boy."
exactly. That's such a great fucking line. I was going to bring that up. That's such a great fucking line. He's so badass in that movie. So that's great. The Pulp Fiction, like I mentioned already. This watch was up my ass.
Yeah,
it
the
was
watch
up his
scene.
ass. That
I
fucking
remember
just so random.
the first time I watched that movie, I was like, "What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?"
And would you be a terrible person? Be like, you can keep that watch.
Yeah, right. I like
Do you count the stagecoach scene from Hateful Eight as one scene? Like the whole time they're in the stagecoach, I feel like it's one scene.
I
It's
love
really
the scene
good.
where they're picking up Walter Coggins and they're making
Yeah.
him sit out there and wait and
Yeah, just the whole
Yeah,
time
the
they're in the
yeah,
stagecoach.
that's a great.
one
Oh,
scene.
dude, that's great.
What about the scene when he hits
when
her?
he elbows her
because
in the face?
She like
Spit on
spits or
his
she
letter.
throws the letter out the window or something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh no, the first time when she says something and Kurt Russell just elbows her in the nose.
Yeah. Violence towards women. Like, I know Tarantino gets a lot of stuff because violence towards people and people suffering is a punchline in a lot of his stuff. But at the same time, his stuff is just so crazy out there. But I don't know. I think a lot of his stuff is justified for entertainment and for what it speaks and what it says in some of his other
Yeah.
movies. Like, I think Hateful Eight actually says a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's
I really
not
do.
like he's anti-woman or anything like that. Like,
Oh,
that's
no,
the
not
big
at all.
climax scene in Death Proof. Is
No,
the
I
three
th-
chicks beating the shit out of the
I
Kurt
think
Russell.
it's
Spoilers.
super awesome that the villain and that the really not really the villain, but maybe the villain, that she is a woman. And like they're treating her just like they would any piece of scum.
Yeah.
Like Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, it could have been Channing Tatum that they had captured, and it would have been the same treatment.
Oh my
Oh my god! Another great scene, by the way. What? How you feeling? How you doing, dummy? Good. Now that I see your face. Well, man. Spoilers. Anyway,
he just blows his fucking head off.
we're going to be taking a quick break, real quick here on Pop Culture Philosophers. When we come back, we're going to see what you guys think are some of your favorite Tarantino films. Then we're going to give everybody our top 5 favorite Tarantino directed films. Can you believe it? Coming up on Pop Culture Philosophers. Hey everybody, it's Rockin' Robbie here. I am thrilled to announce another all-new episode of Rockin' with Rockin' Robbie is about to hit exclusive to YouTube. This time we're talking about lies and fish. It's going to be super, super fun. I am there, Hammertime, Holshoe, Justified Justin, and Jumpin' and Jivin' James discussing lies and fish. A nice mixture of subjects including Charlie the Tuna and President Nixon. Of course, you hear both of those subjects in the same podcast when you're talking about lies and fish. That's Rockin' with Rockin' Robbie, exclusive only to the Pop Culture Philosophers YouTube channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. Tonight, Tonight we are talking about Quentin Tarantino. I am Rockin' Robbie Billups. With me, as usual, is John Hammertime Holshoe.
Of course.
Justin Goldsmith.
Thanks, Robbie.
And Michael and Michael Matthews.
Hey, everybody, it's good to be back.
And we're talking about Tarantino. We're about to do our top 5 Tarantino films of all time.
I didn't wonder what the fuck that was.
I don't like the treble on that one. But first, we went on our social media. We asked you, our fans, our listeners, our family, what is your favorite Tarantino directed film? That's what we're... For our top 5, we chose the movies just directed by Tarantino. Okay?
Yeah.
So we got Matt Gibson said Kill Bill Volume 2. Richard Werder said, used to be Kill Bill, but right now I'm leaning towards Inglourious Bastards. James Donahoe says, tough call. I'll do a top 3. Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, the whole damn thing, and Inglourious Bastards. Richard Werder then said honorable mention to his most underrated film, Jackie Brown. You hear that, Justin?
Yeah.
Jeremy Day said Pulp Fiction. David Bass said Django Unchained. Michael Engelbrecht said toss-up between True Romance and Reservoir Dogs. So Reservoir Dogs, but True Romance is a good, great film. Paul Druth said still Reservoir Dogs after all these years, though Inglourious Bastards is a close second. Jonathan Strickland, Jay Strick, said Kill Bill, all of it. You guys are cheating. That's 2 movies. Clem Urban said Pulp Fiction. Lance Allen said Inglourious Bastards. Drew Matson, dashing Drew, said can't go against Pulp Fiction. Too many important quotes and or scenes for me. Paul Miller said always going to love Reservoir Dogs. Alicia Mero said Kill Bill Volume 1. She actually chose one between the two. And Timothy Gorman said I love Pulp Fiction. Have seen it a dozen times. The more I get older, though Django is a very close 1A. Another few little shout-outs here. Alex Humphrey from Killing Time said Inglourious Bastards. Nate, a homie of mine I work with, said Hateful Eight. And our buddy Roland Scott, good friend and fan of the show, said Django.
Unchained or the original?
Django Unchained. Unchained. There's some really, a lot of diverse answers from their fans. There's not one that like sticks out, though a lot of the Killing Time crew, James Donahoe, Richard Werder, and Alex Humphrey all said Inglourious Bastards. That's a great movie. Mm-hmm. That doesn't get a lot of respect from Tarantino fans, I think, as well as Jackie Brown. So there you go.
That's right. It's time for the top 5. It's going to be top 5 Tarantino films directed by Quentin Tarantino. So I'm going to start with Mike, and I would like to know your number 5, sir.
Kill Bill Volume 2.
All right, Kill Bill Volume 2. Why does that make your top 5? Why does the Kill Bill... They made 8. He's got 8 great films. It was kind of hard to narrow it down to 5, to be honest with you, even though it was only 8. Why does Kill Bill 2 make it into your top 5?
It's a revenge flick.
It is. Most of his... He makes a lot of revenge
Mike's
flicks,
a simple
actually.
man.
So most people don't know that he actually directed Jaws: The Revenge.
Mike? Mike did?
Yes.
Yes, Mike did.
Keep it on the down low, man.
Yeah, they don't want to be associated with the Jaws: The
You
Revenge.
fucked up, man.
That was the end of his career. Robbie, you're number 5.
My number 5 is the 1992 classic debut from Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
With honorable mentions to Jackie Brown and Inglourious Bastards. No, Reservoir Dogs, though, is something that I loved a lot when I was younger. It was one of the first Tarantino films I saw. You, actually, John, told me I bought it on VHS from Walmart and got carded doing so when we worked together at Hollywood 18, the movie theater. And you told me, buy that movie, you will love it no matter, like, you're going to love that movie, there's no doubt. And I bought it. It was the first movie I ever bought without watching.
And you still haven't watched it.
That's a great movie. And then I wound up getting the DVD that was in the gas can, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I just love the movie, and I think it still holds up because I love the non-linear fashion of it. It's a thin movie, but it's fun. The characters are cool. The dialogue is great. It's also his most tightly like paced movie. Like it's not uber long. It's very efficient. It's very quick. It's a great movie.
It's
it still holds up.
efficient movie.
Yeah, very, very, very efficient.
It's an outlier.
That was when it came out. They're like, this is very efficient.
Yes.
The most efficient award. Goldsmith, you're number 5.
My number 5 also is Reservoir Dogs.
Great film. I think a lot of people will be on their top 5.
Yeah, it's it's legit. It's one of the best indie movies of all time, and it was like a $1.2 million budget, and it made like 2.8, I think. So it was pretty successful in theaters. And then Pulp Fiction came out, and Reservoir Dogs got way more popular after Pulp Fiction.
And it's iconic too, and it's got that cult status. And Pulp Fiction was big when it came out because of critics and stuff too. But look at the slow-mo walking scene. You know, you show that these guys are badass by having them walk towards the camera in slow motion. Like Reservoir Dogs, they even mention that in Swingers.
Yeah, and a lot of just a lot of things pop culture have
walk.
taken from Reservoir Dogs. It's a great film. I'll go with my number 5. Going to be I can't remember now. It's the only one I don't think he wrote that of his 8 films, which is Jackie Brown. He might have wrote the screenplay, but
He did write the screenplay.
Yeah, but the novel is based on the novel by Elmer Leonard.
Yeah, and he's a great writer, and that's a great movie, man.
Yeah, and it's a great cast. It's got Michael Keaton in it. But it is a great film, and it didn't. When I first saw it, I enjoyed it, but it felt different than other stuff that he's done, not realizing at the time that it was based on an Elmer Leonard novel. But I enjoy it. It's got a great cast. Pam Grier does a great job. It's a cool film. If you haven't seen it, and I think most people here have, the only people I know in real life who haven't seen it, huge pieces of shit. Everybody else I know have seen it.
John, why?
So, Mikey, that was my number 5. We're going to jump to number 4. Mikey, you're number 4.
My number 4, Django Unchained.
Django Unchained.
Yes, sir.
What does that make your top 5 out of the other films?
It's a revenge flick set in the South.
God damn it.
A revenge flick set in the South.
All right. Well enough.
I like it.
Robbie, you're number 4.
My number 4 is the 1994 classic film, considered one of the greatest films ever.
Lion King?
Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is an amazing film. I think that its pacing, it's got parts to me that are a little dead. The watch up the ass part, yeah, but the scene in the taxi with Bruce Willis, really, like, that's why it's not higher up there. Plus, I know a lot of people go, oh, his greatest films are Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, but I think he's made better films. I don't think his first 2 films are his best films. But I do love those films, and they have staying power, and they're important. And Pulp Fiction may be the most important film he's ever made. And I just think it's a great film, obviously, but it's number 4. And it's a fantastic film. It's fantastic number 4.
You just wanted to say Fantastic Four? Is that why?
Always.
You're number 4, Goldsmith.
Once again, I agree with Robbie. Pulp Fiction's my number 4.
Great.
Did you guys work on
minds.
this list together, assholes?
We
Cheat
did not.
beforehand?
No,
We did
we
not.
didn't.
We haven't even looked at each other's list tonight. Or ever.
Yeah, really.
I love the movie, but it's not, like, I think he's evolved as a filmmaker since then. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's a great, great classic movie, and it's, like you said, it's probably is the most important film he's made.
My number 4 is actually his most recent film, which is The Hateful Eight.
Oh, nice.
I actually enjoyed it. People are like, before I saw it, people said, well, you know what? It's very long, and it feels long. That's what she said. And
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
You do have that problem.
So I was hesitant about watching the film, and I sat down and watched the film. I enjoyed it, man. Great cast. It is a long film. It does not feel long. It doesn't feel drawn out, or it doesn't feel like there's something they can cut out of the film. But I enjoyed it. Again, phenomenal cast, great soundtrack. I'm a big fan of films that are shot during the winter. You know, you feel that coldness, and you really feel it there, too. Oh, yeah. I mean, he brings it out. And
that storm coming in, man. Oof.
Yeah, and the production value and Sam Jackson.
That door, man.
Yeah, nail the fucking door. You gotta use two boards.
Two boards. And they're all saying the same thing.
And how come the person that just comes in, who's been struggling for whatever reason's responsible for locking the fucking door?
Because they opened it.
This is true. This is true. Number 3, Mike.
My number 3 is Inglourious Bastards.
Nice.
Why?
Why is that, Mike?
Because it's a revenge flick set during World War II.
Nice.
And it's got Brad Pitt. He's pretty easy on the eyes.
He's bad. He's so awesome in the movie too, man.
I love his lip.
Yeah.
He's got that permanent.
Well, I guess I'm the only one that speaks the most Italian, so I'm going to do it.
Buongiorno. Grazie.
DiGiorno.
Gorlami.
Gorlami.
And what's your name when they ask Eli Roth?
Dominic the Cook. Very good, thank you.
I lost track of what was going on. Your number 3, Robbie.
My number 3 is the 2003 movie
2003.
Kill Bill Volume 1. Love that movie. Big homage to spaghetti western, kung fu films, blaxploitation even. Like tons of awesome stuff in that movie. It's great. It's action-packed. It's funny. When I saw that movie in the theater, it was me and my homies, and we were just cracking up laughing, and we went during the day. And I don't know if you know much about movie theaters, but there's a group of like elderly people that go every Friday, no matter what, in the afternoon and watch whatever new movies came out that week. And they watched that movie, and they were sitting like 2 rows in front of us, and we were laughing, and they were like, "What is wrong with these people? This movie is filthy. It's evil. It's the devil."
Well, bye.
And we just thought that was even funnier. I love that movie, man. It's such a great movie. It's so good.
It's a great film, and I argue with you. Number 3, Goldsmith.
This is where Robbie and I diverge.
Oh, finally. Two
Into
paths diverge.
My number 3 is Death Proof.
Oh, okay.
Because
Going and throwing it out there.
yeah, it's
Because it's a revenge film about a car.
Not just let the audience know this isn't part of his. He considers part of his 8. This is kind of
But
he did direct. He did direct
consider
that.
this because it is a whole movie directed by him. It's like 2 hours long. Come on.
It is part of a double feature, but he did it in its hour and a half. So, but it's got so much, like all of his movies have style, but this one has a specific tone that none of the other ones really have. I mean, like I said earlier, it's like a 70s muscle car movie, but also a murder flick. Huh?
That car is pretty.
Yeah. And then you got the chase scene where the girl's on the hood, and the whole, it's just a really basic story, but it's just really cool to watch, and I'm sure it was really super fun to make.
My number 3. Have I said my number 3 yet? No. My number 3.
Get on with it.
Is the Django. The George. It's Django. The D is silent. Can you spell that? The D is silent. Django Unchained. Christopher Waltz, again, you're right. He does a great job in Inglourious Bastards. He does a great job in this film. I think maybe that was part of a deal. Like, I'll play a Nazi, but let me be the good guy in the next film. And he is a good guy, and he is a compassionate guy. Maybe he kills people, but he's killing bad people.
If I'm going to be a Nazi in this one, let me free an American slave in the next one.
Yeah. Give me the exact opposite. Couldn't be more opposite. And his character's great. Django's great. The whole cast, actually. Leo, Kerry Washington.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx is so good.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is awesome as Django.
Don Johnson.
What's with that?
Yeah.
The whole
Samuel
thing
Jackson.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. But great film. So that's my number 3.
Nice.
And we're gonna go to number 2. We're so close to hitting the number 1. The big enchilada, which you can get at Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino's taco truck. But the big enchilada is only available on Fridays. So you gotta be there on Fridays.
Only the first half is good.
Well, it's good, but it's out of order. The whole thing's out of sync. Like, why is there sour cream right in the fucking front?
I wasn't expecting the guacamole yet.
What's your number 2, Mikey?
My number 2 is going to be Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Yes, sir. Pulp Fiction's number 2.
Why is that?
Whose motorcycle is this?
Zed?
It's a chopper. Whose chopper is this? Zed. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, babe. Zed's dead. Great scene. Didn't talk about it, but it's still one of those little funny throwaway humor jokes. So, also spawned a DJ.
Number 2, Robbie.
My number 2. That was a bad joke.
Trying to write the train here.
My number 2 is Django Unchained.
Can you write a train? If it goes over, I think you're fucked.
Yeah. 2012's Django Unchained. I love the movie. What you said, like Jamie Foxx is amazing, Christoph Waltz is amazing, Kerry Washington, Leo DiCaprio. I love the movie. It's so funny, so real, it's meaningful, it's deep. Like Kill Bill, it takes a lot of those styles. And when I first heard that Tarantino was going to do a Western, I was like, it's about damn time. Mm-hmm. It's about damn time. He's done 2 Westerns that are both brilliant, in my opinions. And I think Django's one of his best films. I think it's underrated by a lot of his fans. And it is his highest money-making film still to date. And it just has such crossover appeal. It's got a great soundtrack, like all of his movie. Great soundtrack, great characters, great dialogue. Really, really fun movie. And really meaningful.
Your number 2, Goldsmith.
My number 2 is Hateful Eight.
No, I'm not asking you for number 2. I'm just saying you're a piece of poop.
You've used that joke
I've used that
times.
joke a few times. I'm recycling material here. People may have missed the other episode where I used that joke. Okay, Dick? Don't fucking let people know I'm reusing that joke.
Don't call me a dick, damn it. I created this show.
What is your number? What was your number 2? I wasn't fucking listening.
Spaceballs.
Oh, Spaceballs is great. I didn't know Tarantino was involved.
Man, we ain't found shit.
Hateful Eight was my number 2.
Really?
Own that desert.
Hateful Eight is your number 2?
I'm sorry, I said that. Hateful Eight was my number 2 favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
Wow.
I'm glad it's so high. That's a really good movie.
The soundtrack, as we already talked about, is gorgeous. One finally got Ennio Morricone an Oscar. I love the first. It's got to be like the first 45 minutes or an hour, almost an hour of the movie is in the
Like the
stagecoach.
chapter 1, pretty much. Yeah.
The first 2 chapters.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
chapter
you're
3
right.
is when they get to the stable,
the
hotel.
haberdashery.
Haberdashery.
Yeah, this is not a haberdasher.
Oh, I get it. It's a joke.
the everything, all those characters are so interesting, and the way that they get revealed. It's a long movie. It's a little like 3 hours and 6 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it's just at 3 or so.
And it's still revealing character stuff like until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
And there's so much still left on the table about those characters.
Yeah, and they're all so. The whole movie is just fantastic.
My number 2 is the first Tarantino film I saw, which probably the same for everybody. And the one I told you have to buy on VHS.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
happy you listened to me, because you normally don't fucking listen to me, Robbie.
I still only ever watch it on VHS.
Do you have a VHS player?
Nope.
Which are Reservoir Dogs. Great film, great soundtrack. Made me love Harvey Keitel and Tim Roth. I knew who Harvey Keitel was before that. I didn't know who Tim Roth was. And Michael Madsen, such a great crew. And Tarantino got blood in me. I'm dying here, guys. Oh no, you just got blood in your eyes. You'll be fine. So our number 1, what we all been waiting for. Hopefully everybody is not tuned out already. Been listening to the whole show. Our number 1. So this is our favorite Quentin Tarantino films. So Mike, your number 5 was Kill Bill 2.
Yep.
Your number 4 was Django.
Uh-huh.
Both of these because of revenge flicks.
Correct.
Number 3, Inglourious Bastard.
Yep.
Because it's a revenge flick.
Hells yeah.
Number 2, Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
What is your number 1 favorite Quentin Tarantino?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you it's another revenge flick.
Is it
This
part
time
of
set in the
two-part?
Far East in the world of Japan. Kill Bill Volume 1.
I had a hankering it was going to make your list.
Yep. I love Oren. She's a badass.
Yeah.
And that fight scene at the end.
It's a great finale, yeah.
The fight, the Crazy 88 fight scene. Holy shit. That's amazing. And just the cinematography work. Just I love the old Japanese flicks. The modern day action Japanese movies. Are just great.
Robbie, before we get to your number 1, your number 5 was Reservoir Dogs. Your number 4 was Pulp Fiction. Number 3, Kill Bill Volume 3? That can't be right.
I think it's 1.
Is it 1?
Yeah.
It looks like Kill Bill.
It's Kill Bill 1.
Okay. Fuck. Well, that confuses me then. Number 2 was Django Unchained. What is your favorite Quentin Tarantino film?
2004's Kill Bill Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Yes.
So you guys kind of reversed on
Yeah,
the,
me and Mike a little bit reversed.
I kind of booked in my revenge.
How do you...
I like the bookend aspect of it. I love Kill Bill Volume 1. I love it. I think Django says a lot more. But I love Kill Bill Volume 2 above all other Tarantino films because you had Kill Bill Volume 1, and it's this awesome, like, explosive, over-the-top, outrageous, like, kung fu movie with people getting their heads cut off and just insane stuff. And you're expecting more of the same in Kill Bill Volume 2. It's a completely different type of movie. Like Mike said earlier, it's less samurai, more Western. And I love the film. And I love David Carradine's performance in it. I think out of all of Tarantino's films, this one has the most heart. And he actually attributes that to watching Uma Thurman have a baby. Because he wrote this movie. He came up with the idea for this movie during filming of Pulp Fiction. He wanted Uma Thurman to be in this movie. He came up with the idea. And right when he was finally done with the script, she was pregnant. So they waited until she had her baby and everything. And he said that influenced and impacted how the end of that film played out.
I thought you legit meant like he watched her
No.
deliver the baby.
No, but seeing her love for her child.
Like, that'd probably inspire a really bloody 3-hour-long film.
In Kill Bill 1, you have a whole different idea of who Bill is, and that gets flip-flopped in Part 2. I love Part 2. I think it's just a deeper film. I think it gets really into the characters. And my favorite thing about Kill Bill Volume 2 and why it's number 1, my favorite moment of a Tarantino film is it's the 5 whatever, the death punch that she does, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And you do the punch.
5 steps.
And then 5 steps, and they die. She does it to Bill, and he stands up and walks away of his own fucking will. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and it just means so much to me. I love it. It's my favorite one, man.
The student becomes the master.
I love it.
Goldsmith, your number 1. Before we get to that, let's go back over your other favorites. Your number 5 was Reservoir Dogs. Your number 4 was Pulp Fiction. Your number 3 was The Little Mermaid. I'm just seeing if you guys are listening.
That was Spaceballs.
Number 3 was actually Death Proof. And number 2 was Hateful Eight. What's your favorite film by Mr. Quentin Tarantino?
Well, my man, after careful deliberation, I've decided that Inglourious Bastards is my number 1 favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
Where's that sound effect now?
It's got one of the best ensemble casts of all time. Like, just the talent of every single person in that movie is over the top. The story is great. Quentin Tarantino does what Quentin Tarantino wants to do. He kills Hitler. He does when he makes his
Fuck
movies.
history. I'll do it my own.
Yeah, he's just like everybody. Because remember, leading up to it, everybody
Were you
was
surprised like I was when it happened in the film? You're like, oh shit, they killed him.
Like, I kind of was like wondering. Like, I hoped like everybody was talking about that specifically. Like, that was the point of the movie, is that they were going to go kill Hitler. And I remember everybody talking about, like, oh, I wonder if he's going to do it. Wonder if he's going to do it. And then it happened, and you're like, oh, he did it! And
that's one of the things that bothers me about the film. I was like, wait a minute. This didn't happen.
It's a Jewish revenge fantasy, man.
I know. Up until then, they had me.
Yeah. And somehow, Christoph Waltz was a better villain than Hitler.
And lives.
And lives.
We'll go back over my top 5 again. My number 5 was Jackie Brown. My number 4 was Hateful Eight. 3 was Django Unchained. 2 was Reservoir Dogs. My favorite, after sitting down, rewatching some films, re-examining my life, Pulp Fiction. And you said that he's this is the film that maybe is his most remembered for, or whatever it was. Maybe his best film, and not your
most
favorite
influential.
Film. Most influential. And I've enjoyed that film as far as the characters, the storyline, everything, man. Just I don't know. Maybe a lot of it is just how influential it was on me as well.
Yeah.
But I love Pulp Fiction, so that's my number 1. I think a lot of people they'll tell that too as well as Pulp Fiction.
That was some really good top 5s. I think everybody has some good ones. Of course, he's only has like 9 films, really. So
yeah, you forgot Death Proof. He had 9 films. That's all he directed.
You know, I'm really glad to hear you guys, Mike and Justin, mention Inglourious Bastards, because I just rewatched it last night, and I should have it should have made my list. Like this is a good film.
I'm surprised as much as you talk about it. Not like just randomly, but as much as you've talked it up, I thought it was going to be on your top 5.
Well, I also do like the idea of the Jews coming in and killing Hitler.
Yeah.
And Jewish Americans doing it.
And getting
I
Nazi
kinda like
scalps.
that. Yeah, getting Nazi scalps. Coming up soon, we got a new Rockin' Robbie coming out on YouTube. It's a YouTube exclusive now. We got Lies and Fish, which is really funny because we recorded it a long time ago, but it's the next podcast to be coming out, I guess. I don't know. But be on the lookout for Lies and Fish. It's super, super fun. Also, John, next episode, this exact same crew will be here for New York Movies. The podcast so nice, we named it twice. Pop Culture Philosophers, New York Movies.
What is that
New
about?
York Movies. It's about movies set in New York and about New York, John. I'm super excited to do it, aren't you?
I'm excited. It's the greatest city in the world. So I hear. I've never been there.
Yeah, super excited. It was actually an idea that Mike came up with a long time ago for the SOE show.
Yes.
So Mike will be here. Justin will be
excited
here.
for it.
Hopefully Mike will be here. Hopefully Justin will be here. God willing.
I'll be here on time this time since I know that I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, again, the other guy was ate by a shark.
But I'm super excited. I'm glad to have you guys here. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups. Let's do some final thoughts real quick. Tell us once again, real quick, Mike Matthews, why is Tarantino badass?
Because of revenge films.
I like that. Thank you for being on the show, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Justin, what do you think? Why is Tarantino so BA?
The soundtrack's the most important part of the feature.
And like I said before, originality, great dialogue, outrageous and outlandish characters, and some really deep stuff every once in a while, but no Tarantino movie is not fun. I have had so much fun being here tonight, John.
It was okay.
This was almost as enjoyable of a podcast as the Wood one. The wonderful world of Wood.
Wood.
Thanks for you guys. I appreciate y'all joining us. And thank you, listeners, whether you're listening to us
Yes, thank you.
on YouTube, which eventually goes to YouTube, but maybe you're listening to the first run where we're on the website, popculturephilosophers.com. We don't need the www anymore.
Yeah, you don't need to type that in anymore.
If you're checking us out on the website, you can always subscribe and just get it on your Android phone or get it through your iPhone. If you're already subscribing, you can check out the website. There's a lot more content there besides the podcast. There's videos, there's blogs, there's advertisements.
What's that? Advertisements.
He's getting ready.
But we appreciate you tuning in,
I wrote
and
a blog.
thanks for checking us out. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from Quentin Tarantino. When people ask me if I went to film school, I tell them no. I went to films.